Hi all. Today I'd like to talk to you about the importance of feet and feet positioning in the squat. The reason this came into my mind this morning is because recently for the past 2 weeks or so, I've begun to squat with bare feet. And for those of you who've been following my social media, you'll know that I'm currently running a squat everyday routine again, which means I'm squatting with heavy weights up to a max 5 times per week and doing mobility on the other 2 days. So squatting with bare feet up until I get up to maybe my heavy lift, and then I'm putting on my lifting shoes. So why am I doing that? Well, I feel like I get a better connection to the ground. I feel like I'm giving myself dorsiflexion too easily with the lifting shoes, and I'll explain what that is shortly. And I feel like I can push through the 3 points of my feet kind of efficiently with bare feet, and then I feel like that carries over onto when I put my lifting shoes on as well. So I'll also explain what those 3 points are shortly. So far I'm getting great success with this method. As I mentioned, I feel better connection to the ground, feel tighter once I get the lifting shoes on. So far so good, great, getting PBs, feeling nice and tight, feeling amazing. What I want to talk about first is dorsiflexion. So I mentioned that word earlier. Now, if you imagine a calf raise, the stretching portion of the calf raise where your heels are actually below your toes, that's dorsiflexion. So if you need another scenario, if you imagine putting your feet together in a shoulder width stance and just lifting your toes off the ground, so only your heels are on the floor, that's dorsiflexion. So essentially when your heels are below your toes. Now the reason why dorsiflexion is important is the more dorsiflexion you're able to get, so the more mobility you have and the more you're able to actually pull your toes backwards, I'd say the greater chances of a well performed deep squat is kind of is possible. So a lot of the time people's torsos bend right over in a deep squat position, or they just can't get the depth. Generally people like to work the ankles and like to work dorsiflexion first, experts and trainers, because as I mentioned, the more range of motion you have in that ankle, with dorsiflexion in particular, the more potential you have to perform a deep squat basically. So that's a little bit about dorsiflexion. The reason why that's also important is because there's a new craze of lifting shoes, weightlifting shoes. So you've obviously seen me wearing lifting shoes. Weightlifting shoes essentially give you dorsiflexion. So they elevate your heels, essentially putting you into that position. The next point I really want to discuss is the fact that when I go bare feet, I really get to push through the 3 points of my feet, which I mentioned earlier. Now, you've probably been taught you should push through your heels, push through your heels, push through your heels. And a lot of strength and conditioning experts and kind of coaches around the world who train athletes will tell you this is completely wrong, because no sport in the world do you use or kind of move from your heels. You need to be moving on the balls of your feet, on your toes, changing direction quickly, and moving from the heels is very inefficient in that sense. But I'm not going to talk about athletic performance or anything like that. What I want to talk about is just the fact that pushing from your heels is absolute bullshit, even from a squat point of view. What you want to be doing is imagine a triangle running through the bottom of your feet, and the triangle has 3 points, and the 3 points are your heel, your big toe, and your small toe. What you want to do is apply absolutely equal pressure through these 3 points. So that's your big toe, your small toe, and your heel. If you're applying equal pressure through these, you'll definitely have the kind of sensation of spreading your toes on the ground. And as you're twisting your feet out in order to create the angle necessary, because I'll also mention why you shouldn't be squatting with parallel feet. Once you're spreading the ground and you're spreading the toes and pushing through these 3 points of the feet, your squat will be far more stable. You'll have more potential for a deep squat and a more efficient deep squat. So I just touched on parallel feet there. When I did my personal training course, level 3, and even when I did my gym instructor level 2 course, we were taught to squat with parallel feet. And what that means is your feet, running straight in front of you. That's a very, very inefficient squat. Now, I've always had the mindset to follow the greats and see what I'm not interested in what my personal training book says. I'm interested in the people who are squatting the heaviest weights and the people who are exercise science specialists and movement specialists. What are they recommending? And everybody says you need to have your feet pointed out slightly. Now, how much? You're looking at around about 35 degrees, so not quite diagonally completely. But what that allows is it allows your knees to open up and your hips to open up. So your knees will actually follow the trajectory of your toes. So I've got a great demo for this. So if you stand up straight with your feet shoulder width apart, now you twist your feet ever so slightly to about 35 degrees. What you will feel is your hips opening up and your glutes engaging. Now from this position, as you're squatting down, you want your knees to follow the direction of your toes. And that again will mean a much more stable, deep squat with a more upright torso. So parallel feet are a complete no-no, to the point where I genuinely believe they make a difference in terms of inches in the depth that you can reach in the squat. And it's not very comfortable, and I'd even argue not very knee friendly also. Certainly isn't hip friendly. So you want your feet pointed out to around about 35 degrees. So what I'd like you to take away from this very short kind of podcast style video is you want to have your feet pointed out, not parallel. You want to point them out to around about 35 degrees. But the key thing there is to start with feet parallel and twist them out so that you can actually get that glute engagement and the hip, feeling the hip opening up. You want to make sure you're pushing through 3 points on your feet, your big toe, your small toe, and your heel absolutely equally. This will mean that you just got a nice even platform. And the other thing is you really want to work on dorsiflexion. You don't necessarily need to buy weightlifting shoes. There are some great stretches you can do. Maybe I'll link some down below. But that's all for today. This is just something that was running through my mind. I also made a social media post this morning based on this exact thing. So why I feel like barefoot squatting is really helping me. And there's amazing people out there like even John Cena, who to this day squats bare feet as well. So there are definitely benefits. You don't all need to run off and buy £100 plus weightlifting shoes just because somebody you're following on social media is wearing them also. Definitely get that connection with the ground first. Learn how to move with your feet and use your feet first. Then if you need weightlifting shoes for maybe doing the Olympic lifts or doing squats, then maybe consider it if you have available money to do so. But that's it for today. I just wanted to touch on the importance of feet during the squat, and this will also carry over to the deadlift really nicely as well. So I hope you took something away from this. I'll see you next time.